Hi, Barry Foster here, and welcome back to A-League to the UK. This is episode number 18 with the Newcastle Jets in the Australian A-League, and today I'm going to be showing you two games, not one, but two games on key highlights. We normally show one game just on extended highlights, but we'll go for two today. And first up, we'll have a top-of-the-table clash between the Newcastle Jets and the Western Sydney Wanderers. Both those teams are sitting on 31 points. And then we'll have an Asian Champions League match, another home game for the Jets, and this time against Buriram United from Thailand. And I think that should be quite a fascinating encounter, since that Thai team had a very good victory in their first match. I think it was a 5-0 thrashing of a North Korean side called April 25, but until then we'll play the top of the table clash between the Jets and the Western Sydney Wanderers. So let's go and do that right now. Okay, so here's the starting line-up for a match against Sydney Wanderers, a fairly familiar line-up with Woods in goal, O'Toole, Ansell and Donachie and Galloway across the back line, Wilson sitting behind Brimmer, and Sykes in midfield, Petratos out left, Miller on the right, and Stamatolopoulos will lead our attacking line. And on the bench we'll have Jack Duncan, Aspro Podomaitis. He's come to the bench because of the injury to young Clark. Reece James, he's back on the bench after a bit of injury. Jacob Melling, Angus Thurgate, Goodhue and Hoffman. Unfortunately, we still do have Kantarovski and Valentino Yule and Sumal. They're still injured, which is a bit of a nuisance, but that's starting 11 for today's game against the Wanderers. So let's get straight to the change rooms. Carl Robinson, still the manager of the Western Sydney Wanderers, and a fairly decent-looking lineup they have indeed. And Jerry Payton reckons go out there and carry straight on from where you finished last match. I can't argue with that. I think I'll go with Jerry's suggestion there. He can do the tunnel interview as usual. One interesting thing from the last match against Sakai FC from Japan, we had a record crowd number at the Hunter Stadium. I think just over 25,000 fans turned up to watch that game, which was certainly a bit of a surprise, because normally the Asian Champion League matches don't draw big crowds, even overseas in Asia. For some reason, it just doesn't spark the interest of the followers. But anyway, we're underway in this top-of-the-table clash, and remember, it is a match being showed on key highlights, something that I'm not really used to playing matches on, but we'll see how we go. Still waiting for a first highlight. I think I also saw the transfer window in the A-League will be opening, I think, next week. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to have to start thinking about maybe signing some new players for down the track, but we'll have a look at that a bit later on. But fast approaching 20 minutes in the game and still waiting for our very first highlight, and we finally have one. This seems to be the Wanderers clearing the ball up field, and this is Miller for the Jets. He's been a real standout on the right for us the last 1.5-2 seasons. And there's Stamatolopoulos doing what he does so well, putting the ball into the back of the net. And once again, young Miller is involved with an assist. If he's not scoring goals himself, he sets up goals for teammates. But a very good cross, and Stamatolopoulos lost his marker and beat the keeper with a fine header. So that's a pretty good start for the Jets. But I'm sure the Wanderers will come back at us at some stage in this game, and this is Galloway. Now Sykes is our playmaker. Well, he went for goal and the keeper didn't move at all. Probably just as well the shot was off target. But the Jets are certainly dominating the The shots on goal stat at the moment, the Wanderers yet to have any shots. Well, they've got one now. But obviously the opening 30 minutes, it's been really in favour of the Jets. And this is Sykes, playmaker for England. And he's gone again. He's tried his luck again, and he wasn't far away from making it 2-0. Maybe third time lucky for the fellow. But overall, the players seem to be all playing pretty well in this top of the table clash. I'm normally a little bit worried about these games. Sometimes you get teams that shrink into their shell and play rather poorly. But this is the Wanderers now with a free kick. And there's a reply. Good goal by Ugarkovic. Got a feeling he's a former Newcastle player. I have a feeling he was at our club only last season. A good player and a very good header. So 2 headers in the game. Just before half-time, it's all square. So maybe I spoke a little bit too soon about the Jets having everything nearly their way in this match, because the Wanderers have hit back very, very well. We're fast approaching half-time. I think that's going to be the half-time score. And overall, we haven't been playing too badly at all. I really can't be too disappointed with that performance. 10 shots to 5, slightly more possession. They've had slightly more corners, but overall, I think a fairly good opening 45 minutes. And Jerry Payton, well, he seems to sometimes like that very bottom team talk. I think what I'll do is we'll be assertive. And we'll tell the boys that I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. Hopefully that'll put them in the right frame of mind for the second 45 minutes. But they seem to have enjoyed that half-time team talk. And this is Brimmer with a free kick. And somebody's gone down in the box. I think, okay, VAR's going to get involved. This could be a penalty. Sean Evans, and he awards a penalty. Okay. Righto. Well, this is fortunate for the home side, I must admit. And this is Brimmer from the spot. And he makes no mistake at all. So 2-1 to the Jets. A good way to start the second half. Slightly fortunate, I must admit. But it's always nice when you do get a penalty in the game, because sometimes they can be a little bit hard to get, but a well taken shot from the spot. So what can the Wanderers do now? Can they come back and find an equaliser? Well, I wouldn't put it past them, because they've got a fairly good team on the park, especially with a Beanie up front. He can be a very, very dangerous player. He's a former Newcastle Jets player as well. But here's another corner now, Brimmer. And that's been headed away. Now Wilson, defensive midfielder. Plays it across to Sykes. Through to Miller. Lovely. Oh, too easy. Lovely ball through to Miller. And Miller with a very clinical finish to make it 3-1. Once again, very good teamwork there. And Sykes setting up Miller with a perfect pass through the defence. I really am quite surprised how well the team's playing, especially this season. After last season, I thought we might have a bit of a hangover, but they seem to be just kicking on where they left off last season. So I think we'll make a couple of substitutions, because we do have that Asian Champions League game coming up in just 2 or 3 days' time. Miller is getting pretty tight out there on the right, so I think we'll bring on Hoffman. He can certainly fill that role out there on the right, and I think we'll bring on Thurgate for Sykes, because Thurgate can be a very good advanced playmaker as well. So we got those two boys on the park, and see how we go for the remaining maybe 20 odd minutes in the game, but I didn't expect a 3-1 scoreline at this stage in the game at all, especially after the Wanderers came back to equalise just before half-time. Petratos is getting fairly tired, so is Brimmer, so is Wilson. I think we'll make a final change. We'll let this throw-in be taken, and that's cleared by Much. This is Wilson to Thurgate. Good ball out to Galloway. Can he get his... He cuts it back to Thurgate. Well, he had a shot. It's blocked, and that'll be another corner for the Newcastle Jets. I think we'll make a substitution now. Which guy should I maybe take off? I think I'll bring on young Melling for Brimmer. Melling can get a bit of game time in the last maybe 15 minutes. And this is Jacob Melling. No, sorry, this is Thurgate with the corner. Now, is this another penalty coming up for the Jets? Somebody's handled the ball. You don't often see handball in the game. So once again, a penalty is given for handball. I tell you what, Lady Luck is certainly on our side in this match. So I think it's going to be Galloway, our right fullback, and he makes no mistake from the spot. So 4-1 to the Jets. Well, what was or is a top-of-the-table clash, it's turning out to be a very easy victory for the home side. And I expected a little bit more from Western Sydney Wanderers. But I won't complain. I'll take the 3 points. It will put us clear on top of the table. And I think we'll call out a bit of praise to the boys. I think they've done extremely well in both halves, and we'll start to do some time wasting as well, I think, just to maybe frustrate the Wanderers in the remaining few minutes of the match. 19 shots to 9, slightly more possession, corners even, and an excellent XG of 3.43. That's extremely high, and that's how it finishes, 4 goals to 1 to the Jets. And you've got to be very happy with that. Easy team talk to give to the boys. Jerry can do the tunnel interview as normal. And there we have it, the Jets on top of the table on 34 points after only 14 matches of the season. So yes, Robinson suffers defeat. Robinson was the former manager of the Newcastle Jets before he went to the Western Sydney Wanderers. Looks like a cagey press conference from Robinson. Miller once again on form with 1 goal and 1 assist. Fantastic player, this young fella. He's doing so well for the club. It's really great to have a player like him in the squad. I think we'll do the press conference off camera as usual. So our next game is in just 3 days' time against Buriram United from Thailand. I think that could be a very tricky game for us to play. So let's get prepared for that. Okay, so this is starting 11 for a game today against Buriram United. Quite a few changes, mainly due to players being very tired from their last match against the Western Sydney Wanderers. And the starting 11 will be Woods in goal, O'Toole, Aspropotomitis, Ansell and Hoffman across the back line, Melling sitting behind Brimmer and Sykes, Armson out on the left, Miller on the right, and Thurgate will lead our attacking line. On the bench we have Jack Duncan, James Donachie, Goodhue, Galloway, Petratos, Wilson and Stamatelopoulos. Now those last 4 names, they're all tied. I don't think I'll be able to really use them in the second half, but unfortunately that's the way the cards have fallen for this game. So let's submit the team. Yes, I think some of these players will struggle to see out the 90 minutes, but at least we've got the home advantage. Let's get to the dressing room, and yes, Jerry, once again, he does like that very bottom team talk. I'm not quite too sure if that's going to be the right one to... okay, look, I'll back him on this. I think we'll go with him. He normally has some pretty good recommendations, I must admit, but we'll back him on that particular one for this game. And once again, fairly decent looking crowd in at the Hunter Stadium for an Asian Champions League match. But do we have the legs in the in our players to see out 90 minutes? I really do question that. But anyway, it looks as though we've got a fine night here in Newcastle for this game. I must admit, it is very tricky when you've got to register players for a particular competition. It's not an easy thing to do in the A-League. But anyway, we've got a highlight, and this is Hoffman. He's playing it right back tonight, and this is Miller. Trying to get a cross in, but that's been blocked. O'Neill for the Thai side. I've got a feeling they're going to be a fairly decent opponent for us tonight, and this player has beaten Arman very, very easily, and he cuts it back. And here comes the first shot, and there's the first goal. So 1-0 to the Thai team, and that was very well executed by them. I've got to give them that. It wasn't very good defensive work at all by the Newcastle Jets, but just simple passing and a very clinical finish. And Woods was beaten on the near post. He would be disappointed with that. So not a good start for the home side. But early days, they have scored very early in the match, so there's plenty of football to come. But I think we might have to give the boys a bit of encouragement, I think. Hopefully that'll pick them up. And they can take the game to Buriram United. Anyway, this is Woods now with probably a free kick. He's gone out left to O'Toole. Now, young Armson, he normally would not play in that position. He cuts it back to Bremer. This is Sykes. Bremer, slightly better passing here by Newcastle. Now, Armson can just get to this. Can he get a cross in? And he does. And a very good header by Sykes, which just missed that far post. That could have been 1-1. Anyway, this is Woods with a goal kick, and Ansell playing it long but not very well. Straight to a Thai player. So they look like a fairly handy side, I reckon, this Thai team. Not bad at all. Some decent passing here, but maybe that last one wasn't the best. But that's cleared just straight down the park, and they'll bring it back. Certainly very patient passing. Once again, they're trying to split us open in defence. And that's a lovely ball. Oh, good save by Woods. That's an excellent save. That could have been 2-0 and probably should have been 2-0. So we certainly rode our luck there, but it was a very good save by Woods. So I'm not surprised that he's sitting on 6.9, but unfortunately the other players in the squad, they're not having a great game tonight. It's proving to be a little bit difficult. I think we'll demand more from the boys in the final 10-12 minutes of this half. But we've only had one shot. They've only had two. So it's been probably a bit of an arm wrestle out there. But we're fast approaching the half-time whistle. Hopefully we won't concede again. Certainly Miller is not having a great game on the right, which is not like him at all. And there we have it, half-time. 1-0 to Buriram United. I guess you could say they probably deserve that lead. They probably could have easily made it 2-0 just before half-time. And Jerry Payton, he's still stuck on the bottom. Okay, with that particular team talk, I don't think I'll go with that. I think I'll point the finger and tell the boys I expect a much better showing in the second half, and fingers crossed they can do that. And it's going to be a bit tricky with our subs as well, because we've got so many tired players on the bench. It's not great, but we'll see how we go. Hoffman can be moved into an attacking role where Miller is. But anyway, this is Buriram United with a highlight in the 56th minute. Once again, rather patient passing from this Thai team. Yeah, but they were going to go out to the right, and they have now. This is another excellent ball through. 2-0. 2-0. That's his 13th goal of the season. So this is becoming a very difficult game for the Newcastle Jets. And I must admit, this Thai team, they're looking the goods at the moment, and that was a lovely through ball. And keeper caught in no man's land. Well, okay, Thurgate, yes, he's not having a great game up front for us, but he's not normally our striker, so I can't blame him for that. But I don't think we've got too many answers at the moment. Hoffman, he's struggling at right fullback too. Miller, he's not having a great game. Okay, in the 70th minute, we'll roll the dice and see what we can do. I think we'll bring on Donachie. I think we'll bring him on for... We'll take away that yellow card. We'll bring on Donachie. He can play in that normal position. Central defender right. And Petratos, I know he is tied. Goodhue, the young fellow, can play in midfield. He's tired as well. Got so many tired players. Okay, we'll roll the dice. We'll bring on Stamatolopoulos. He might be a little bit tired, but we'll put him on the park, and Petratos can go out on the left. Not ideal, but we'll gamble with these tired players coming off the bench. And here we have a free kick for the Jets. 75th minute, Brimmer, normally very good with free kicks, and he forces a good save from the keeper. And we get a corner. So can we do something with the corner? That's headed away by the Thai defence. We'll call out demand more from the boys. I don't think we're going to get much of a reaction out of them in the final 10-12 minutes of the match. But I think we'll go to attacking. But I've got a feeling the Thai team were too good for us tonight. It's been 5 shots apiece. Possession's been fairly even, but they've found the back of the net twice. Probably should have made it three times. But Woods did pull off a very good save, and there we have the full-time result. So the Thai team coming to Newcastle and walking away with all 3 points. And I must admit, they played pretty well away from home, and overall it was a rather disappointing night for the Newcastle Jets. But unfortunately, we had many changes to make for the team. Yeah, we'll go with Jerry's recommendation there. Wasn't a great performance. You can do the tunnel interview as normal. And there we have it. Buriram United now on 6 points, and the Newcastle Jets stuck on 3, still in second position. And April 25, the North Korean side beaten 3-0 by Sakai FC of Japan. Well, okay, one very good result in our first game, but not a very good result in our second game. But we'll let our assistant do the press conference as normal. So that's our 2 matches for today. Let's look at our schedule coming up. And I think what we'll do, we'll come back for another Champions League match away this time to April 25. That'll be played in North Korea. We'll play Macarthur FC and Brisbane Roar offline. So that'll be our next video away to April 25 in the Asian Champions League. So that's the video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Barry Foster. Until next time, it's goodbye from me.